Hai, kenalin, aku Ful. Dan ini bestie aku. Kita mahasiswi di Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Sebagai seorang mahasiswi, aku sering berkunjung ke perpustakaan. Bukan hanya untuk membaca buku aja, tapi juga untuk melakukan banyak hal lainnya. Ikut aku yuk ke perpustakaan Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Ruang sirkulasi dan ruang baca. Di ruangan ini menyediakan berbagai macam koleksi buku yang bisa kita baca. Menyediakan kursi, lesehan, agar kita nyaman dan betah berlama-lama di perpustakaan. Selain itu, buku juga dapat dipinjam, dibawa pulang oleh Civitas Akademika. Ruang komputer. Ruangan ini digunakan untuk mencari referensi dan mengerjakan tugas kuliah. Ruang repositori. Ruangan ini menyediakan layanan referensi seperti kamus, ensiklopedia, jurnal, proceeding, dan lain-lain. Serta layanan konsultasi seperti kepenulisan, plagiasi, olah data, reference tools. Juga tersedia komputer untuk keperluan olah data seperti SPSS, Fast Viewer, Smart PLS, and Vivo. Selain layanannya yang lengkap, ruang repositori menjadi tempat andalan bagi mahasiswa yang ingin mencari sumber referensi. Milenial muda, ikut aku ke luar negeri yuk! Taiwan Education Center. Tempat ini merupakan hasil bentuk kerjasama antara UMY dengan TETO, Taipei Economic and Trade Office. Kita bisa belajar mengenai bahasa, budaya, dan sosial Taiwan serta informasi terkait beasiswa di Taiwan. Salah satu tempat yang kini menjadi favorit mahasiswa adalah Bangladesh Corner. Di sini, kita tidak hanya belajar mengenai budaya, namun kita juga dapat berinteraksi langsung dengan mahasiswa asli Bangladesh. Bonjour, selamat datang di Warung Perancis. Di sini kita bisa mendapatkan informasi-informasi terkait beasiswa di Perancis. Ada teman-teman volunteer yang akan membantu mencari informasi terkait dengan Perancis. Next, ikut aku yuk ke tempat di mana Patung Liberty berada. Tempat ini merupakan hasil bentuk kerjasama antara UMY dengan Kedubes Amerika Serikat, American Corner. Buku dan majalah yang ada di sini langsung didatangkan dari Amerika loh. Kita di sini juga bisa menggunakan studio podcast, bermain game board, dan juga game konsol. Pengen lebih santai saat membaca buku? Kita bisa nongkrong di Lipcore Cafe. Atau kalau kamu ingin belajar dengan lebih tenang, ruangan belajar mandiri adalah pilihan yang tepat. Di sini ada 9 bilik yang dapat digunakan untuk belajar atau mengerjakan tugas sendirian biar lebih fokus. Nah, kalau kamu ingin belajar tentang sejarah dan semua hal tentang Muhammadiyah, kamu juga bisa mampir ke Muhammadiyah Corner. Di sini juga terdapat layanan, pelatihan literasi informasi, klinik skripsi, layanan konsultasi, cek similarity, akun premium, serta koleksi digital. So, gimana milenial muda? Seru kan baca bukunya? Perpustakaan Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, sarana pasti menuju prestasi. Hai, kenalin, aku Flo. Dan ini bestie aku. Kita mahasiswi di Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Sebagai seorang mahasiswi, aku sering berkunjung ke perpustakaan. Bukan hanya untuk membaca buku aja, tapi juga untuk melakukan banyak hal lainnya. Ikut aku yuk ke perpustakaan Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Ruang sirkulasi dan ruang baca. Di ruangan ini menyediakan berbagai macam koleksi buku yang bisa kita baca. Menyediakan kursi, lesehan, agar kita nyaman dan betah berlama-lama di perpustakaan. Selain itu, buku juga dapat dipinjam, dibawa pulang oleh Civitas Akademika. Ruang komputer. Ruangan ini digunakan untuk mencari referensi dan mengerjakan tugas kuliah. Ruang repositori. Ruangan ini menyediakan layanan referensi seperti kamus, ensiklopedia, jurnal, proceeding, dan lain-lain. Serta layanan konsultasi seperti kepenulisan, plagiasi, olah data, reference tools. Juga tersedia komputer untuk keperluan olah data seperti SPSS, Fast Viewer, Smart PLS, and Vivo. Selain layanannya yang lengkap, ruang repositori menjadi tempat andalan bagi mahasiswa yang ingin mencari sumber referensi. Milenial muda, ikut aku ke luar negeri yuk! Taiwan Education Center. Tempat ini merupakan hasil bentuk kerjasama antara UMY dengan TETO, Taipei Economic and Trade Office. Kita bisa belajar mengenai bahasa, budaya, dan sosial Taiwan serta informasi terkait beasiswa di Taiwan. Salah satu tempat yang kini menjadi favorit mahasiswa adalah Bangladesh Corner. Di sini, kita tidak hanya belajar mengenai budaya, namun kita juga dapat berinteraksi langsung dengan mahasiswa asli Bangladesh. Bonjour, selamat datang di Warung Prancis. Di sini kita bisa mendapatkan informasi-informasi terkait beasiswa di Prancis. Ada teman-teman volunteer yang akan membantu mencari informasi terkait dengan Prancis. Next, ikut aku yuk ke tempat di mana Patung Liberty berada. Tempat ini merupakan hasil bentuk kerjasama antara UMY dengan Kedubes Amerika Serikat, American Corner. Buku dan majalah yang ada di sini langsung didatangkan dari Amerika loh.
Yogyakarta. Today, we are truly honored to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Assistant Professor Mircetic, Ph.D. from University of Business Academy in Novi Sad, Serbia, who will presenting a lecture entitled Excellence in Scientific Writing. I hope everyone is ready as we are about to begin. Before we start, please allow me to share a few reminders. Kindly mute your microphone during the session. Please turn on your camera, especially during the photo session. And don't forget to rename your Zoom display name to your full name, as this will be used for your A certificate. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Assistant Professor for Mircetic, Ph.D. from University of Business Academy in Novi Sad, Serbia. Mr. Khalifa Ph.D. SAMACC as the Lecturer of Accounting Program, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and also today's moderator, and all honorable lecturers, students, and participants who have joined today's international seminar. Alhamdulillah, all praise be to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His grace and blessings, allowing us to gather here in good health and high spirit. May peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him who has brought us from the darkness to light through knowledge and faith. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Aziza Asa Araya, and I will serve as your master of ceremony for today's event. Here are the agendas for today. First, opening. Second, guest lecture session. Third, question and answer session. Fourth, photo session. And last, closing. Let's begin with the first agenda, which is the opening. To start this event with blessing, let us recite Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, let us proceed to the guest lecture session on the topic Excellence in Scientific Writing, delivered by Assistant Professor Furt Mirketi, Ph.D., and guided by our honorable moderator, Mr. Khalifa Ph.D. SAMACC, as the lecturer of accounting program. For Mr. RD, the time is yours.
Okay. Miss Aziza, can you hear my voice, Miss Aziza?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Professor Dr. Fuk Mircetic, good afternoon, Miss Professor Doctor. Can you hear my voice?
Good afternoon.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, so I believe it is 2 p.m. in Serbia.
Yes, it is 2:15 at the moment.
Okay, but my apologies, Professor Doctor, because department asked me to become as the moderator for this guest lecture for this webinar, but unfortunately, I am on my way for station, so it is my apologize for my environment is not supporting for this guest lecture. Okay,
Thank you.
so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Doctor. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good night, everyone. So I would like to welcome you all in this webinar for guest lecture. And here we have very best speaker with influence experiences in his experiences. Here we have Professor Dr. Fakmir Khatik. I would like, before we start our webinar for this night, I would like to read certain of biography for Professor Dr. Fakmir Khatik. Okay, Miss Aziza, could you please to share for the slide of Professor Dr. Fakmir Khatik's profile?
All right, sir. Wait.
Okay. Okay, while waiting for this slide is being presented, so for this night, we have a webinar with the topic for excellent in scientific writing. So I believe the audience in this webinar are academic participants, among others, maybe students or maybe undergraduate, start from undergraduate students, maybe international student, or maybe student from Indonesia, or maybe postgraduate students in any kind of department, maybe in economic business or the other faculty. Yeah. So I believe this material is very important for us as academic uh, who is about to write any papers, yeah, because I believe even for undergraduate students, we have final project that is our paper, yeah, and I believe the way writing for paper is very different compared to the other, or maybe the other document, yeah. So here we have Professor Dr. Folk Mercatics, and he is as the I would like to reading certain of his profile. His PhD in business and management, and I think we have was that similar interest, yeah, for accounting student, especially from accounting department in UMY. We also have focus on business, and also Professor Dr. Fogmerketik have second PhD expected to be defense in 2026. 2026. I hope for success, Professor Doctor, for your second PhD. And the areas of expertise, the first one is human resource management, and I believe human resource management is very what was that? Not a prevalent topic, but it is very sophisticated and outstanding topics in this time, because you know that the management for human resource is very crucial in any organizations. And also his areas of expertise, the second is leadership, and leadership is being taught especially in accounting department in our program, yeah, everyone, especially in UMY, because we have uh, one course that learn about leadership with the of the course is organization psychology, yeah. And then the number three, the areas of expertise is organizational behavior, and I believe behavioral organizational is very common in any kind of major, even in accounting, management, or maybe in economic, or even outside business and economic faculty. And then number four is company organizations. And then the last is management in tourism. And I think management in tourism is very interesting for us, especially for in Indonesia, because we have a lot of tourism destinations, yeah, and we have like village tourism management, especially in Yogyakarta in our province, yeah. And also the geographical positions for Professor Dr. Fogmerkatics in Peninsula. Oh, I mistake. I thought that you were in Serbia, Professor Doctor. So you are currently in Peninsula. Yeah, and
No, no, no.
then sorry.
At the
Oh, in
moment,
Serbia.
I am in Serbia. Yes, I am in
Oh,
Belgrade, in
okay.
my hometown.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and I think we will have deep what was that? The deep conversations after, or maybe discussion. I'm sorry, discussions after Professor Dr. Fogbergatics materials. Yeah, and maybe we have Miss Aziza. Please confirm for time in this what was that webinar, 60 minutes or 9 minutes, Miss Aziza.
Yes, sir.
This webinar will minutes or minutes. Okay, maybe 90 minutes, including for discussion and answer sessions. Yeah. So
For
I hope that
for
everyone.
the seminar,
Yeah.
it's
Yes,
about
Lisa.
40 to 1 hour, sir. 40 minutes to 1 hours.
Okay. So after that, we will
For
have questions
for
and
the
answer sessions. Yeah.
Q&A and for the
Yeah.
Q&A session, about 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Aziza. Okay, so I hope that everyone will have a lot of questions after the material sessions, yeah. And to make this webinar soon begin, I would like to welcome for Professor Dr. of Mathematics for his presentations. Please, Professor Doctor.
Selamat siang. Dobar dan to my colleagues from Serbia. First of all, I would like to thank every one of you. I would like to thank Dr. Penny Nugraheni. I would like to thank Dr. Vesna Tornjanski for recommending me. I would like to thank all students from your university. I would like to thank members of Club 10, Club 10. It is a society that I formed in Serbia that gathers my best students. I see some of our members are present today. I would also like to thank the Association of Serbian Indonesian Friendship Nusantara, and of course, I would like to thank your university as a host. So today we are going to speak about excellence in scientific writing. My name is Vuk Mircetic. My colleague introduced me properly. We can go on the next slide, please. Thank you. As my colleague said, I am Vuk Mircetic. I am holding my Ph.D. in business and management. I am at the moment finishing my second Ph.D. It is expected to be defended next year. My colleague told all about me, about my areas of expertise, so it is not important to mention that once again. What is important is that I'm here today to share my experience while writing more than 80 scientific articles. I started somewhere, I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and so far I have 80 published scientific articles. Also, I'm the president of Society of Serbian and Indonesian Friendship Nusantara. We can go on the next slide, please. As I said before, and my colleague, I come from Serbia. It is a republic in Europe. And not to read the whole slide, it is not important, but just to see where we are. We are that red area presented on a map, and there is slightly less than 7 million of us at the moment. We can go next. So what are my relations with Indonesia, my personal connections? I was a member of parliament, of Serbian parliament before, and I was a member of Serbian Indonesian Parliamentary Friendship Group. You can see the picture on the right, and that is the time when I met the ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Chandra. After that, we spoke about Nusantara. It is the Association of Serbian Indonesian Friendship. It exists for more than 2 decades, and he asked me to consider being a president and guiding our members. We have more than 250 members in Serbia. So I said yes. I became a president in 2024, and you can see the pictures in this slide. We can go next, please. So about the agenda of today's lecture, we are going to have some introductory remarks. After that, we are going to speak about the structure of the scientific paper. And I think that it is maybe the most important part and segment of my today's lecture, because we are going to I'm going to share my experience regarding every segment of the structure of scientific paper. So I think that is really important for everyone that is starting and maybe in the beginning stage of scientific writing. After that, we are going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence in science. I would like to hear your opinion in your way, in your sense about using artificial intelligence in science, because it is something that exists and no one can say that it is not really popular globally. So I would like to share my opinions and also to receive and to hear your feedback. After that, we are going to speak about opportunities for publication. Dr. Penny Nugraheni and I spoke a lot about this subject because we didn't want to just give a lecture and you get certificates and that's it. No, we wanted to, after that, show and give opportunities to our members to have their own scientific papers published. After that, I'm going to share several practical recommendations, of course, in my opinion, in my way. So I believe and I hope that you all would gain something from it. We can go next. We'll start now. Thank you. So before we begin, we have to ask ourselves certain questions. First of all, why do we want to write a scientific paper? Do we want to become scientists, or do we want to have scientific paper published so we can put it in our CV, or is there anything else? Why is that important? Because of our motivation. Second, but not any less important question is, do we have enough time for every segment of the process? Why for every segment of the process? Because it is not one day job. You will see later, it is a process that needs much time. Is it worth to start this process? So you have to ask yourself, okay, so I'm giving my time, I'm giving a lot of things that I would maybe gladly like to do instead of writing. Is it worth it? And the last question that I put here is, are we afraid of receiving feedback and review, and why? This is also very, very important for everyone that starts writing, because when you start writing, you think, I'm speaking on my behalf, I was thinking that I knew everything. And when I started writing scientific papers, I was thinking that it is probably the best scientific paper ever written and it is perfect. And I was so afraid of receiving feedback and review, because I didn't want to hear that something is not right, that I need to change something. But when I firstly submitted my scientific paper to one international scientific conference here in Serbia, but it is international. In 2018, I received feedback. I was thinking that it is probably the best scientific paper ever written. I received feedback. They told me that it is not good enough, that I need to change some things. And this is exactly the time when I realized that from receiving feedback and from receiving review from your peers or your colleagues or your mentors, you grow. And it is the most important thing to listen to people that has maybe slightly more experience than you. Of course, if someone have more experience than slightly, if someone is writing for maybe 10, 15, 20 years, even better. But everything that you can receive as a feedback, constructive feedback, please read it and try to understand it. We can go next, please. So what is the valuable information to know before start writing? First of all, scientific writing is a process, as I said before, and it should be enjoyable. So if you feel some pressure or you don't want to do it or something, it is not good. It should be enjoyable for you. It should be nice. You should have nice feeling here when you write. So also, and I told my students that were on my mentorship program know about this sentence: scientific paper is the original work of author or authors. So it is your work. You shouldn't get work from other people, from other authors, from other scholars, and get your name on it. You need time. Why do you need time? First of all, you need to find literature. You need to read literature. You need to do some researching, and you need to do some drafting after that. After all of that, you begin writing. So the literature we read and use for research has to be relevant. I have one slide about relevant literature, and you will see why is that important. For example, when I am speaking to my students and my candidates, because I have the ability to be mentor on all study levels, on bachelor, master's, and doctoral study level. When I speak to every one of my candidates and my students, I tell them to read only relevant literature. So no open sources, no Wikipedia, no sources that are not quite famous, scientifically speaking, etc. So before the final version of our scientific paper, there are numerous iterations, numerous versions, and as I told you before, it is a process. And after submission, there may be even some more changes if reviewers ask. We can go next, please. Here is the example of one of my scientific papers. As you can see, there are numerous iterations until completion of everything. You can see the date modified. It is not only 1 day job, it is maybe day and night job, because you can see 4 a.m., 1 p.m., about noon, and everything else. But it is the way I am writing. I try to write every day, and when I write, I am saving different iterations. So I also put this is really realistic screenshot from one of my folders. I put it like this to see that even I sometimes do not save properly files. So it is not, it could be important, but it is not maybe that much important if you are saving files, because you can see I have 12, then 13 is somewhere in maybe in different folder also. And then when I come to the end, I name my file the proper name that is intended to be the name of my scientific work, and that's it. We can go next, please. So what is our intention here? You can see the ocean of unknown. It is the ocean that is really big. No one knows how big it is. No one probably will ever know how big it is. We have island of known somewhere graphically represented in the middle, and we have our scientific paper here. It is not, of course, in a proper proportion, but it is smaller. And when you submit your scientific paper to some journal, the procedure is to go through review process. Reviewers are like sharks. Mostly they are sharks that will tear apart your scientific paper, but it is okay. And sometimes you have shark that is friendly, not so much in a real life, but you can find some reviewer that is friendly. The most important thing here is to know that reviewers are here to share their knowledge and to try to make your paper better. So when you start writing, try to answer all of their questions, remarks, comments, etc. But when you gain some experience, you will see that not all reviewers are maybe they also do not understand your work. You will be able to see that from their comments. But in the beginning, try to answer to all of their comments. That will change your scientific paper significantly, but they will not accept to publish it if you don't do as they say, or if you are not willing to do what they say. You have to answer why didn't you do something. That is why I put them like sharks in this graphical representation. We can go next, please. So what is the writing process? It is composed of three things: pre-writing, writing, and revising. In pre-writing, we have certain segments that we have to go through. First of all, we have to think about potential topping and narrowing the options. So, for example, my area of expertise is human resource management. One of my students presented here, and also member of my Club 10, Alexa, wrote about, he is from IT. It is his area of expertise. And we were talking about writing his first scientific article. So we were thinking about writing something that has to do with IT, but also that has to do with human resource management. And that is the area of our potential topic. That is something that we were thinking. And then later on we were narrowing the options to see exact theme of his scientific work. So after that, we have to find relevant studies and do some research. We have to see what are reputable studies so far in that field, what is new in that field, what is published in last 5 years, especially in last maybe 3 years. We can also ask for recommendations from our mentors, from our peers, from almost anyone that has anything to do with our topic in regarding science. After that, we can do also brainstorming. So maybe something that we are thinking is important or is good to write. Maybe someone also wrote it, and we can see the differences between what we want to write and what they did. After that, we will begin outlining with a focus on research gaps. And for scientific writing, also our colleague in the beginning was speaking about final papers, master's thesis, and also doctoral thesis. Research gaps are the most important. What is the research gap? Research gap is something that is missing in the current literature. So our goal is to answer certain research gap. The best part, the best segment is when some of our colleagues of other scholars and authors say that there is a certain research gap regarding, for example, using of artificial intelligence in selection process. And when we write our paper, we will start somewhere in the introduction by addressing that research gap and saying that certain authors, name of course that authors, reference them, said that there is a certain gap in the current literature, or my best sentence would be, despite the fact that there is a numerous of respectable studies so far regarding information technologies in human resource management, certain authors, then name that authors, said that there is a research gap regarding using of artificial intelligence in selection process, and that would be amazing. And after that, you start your own research. After we finish our pre-writing segment of the writing process, we begin writing, and we'll speak about that detailedly. And after that, revising. We can just maybe 2 sentences here, because I didn't speak much about this segment regarding revising. There are 3 segments that you personally need to do. First of all, reread your paper, reread it, see if anything is missing, see if anything is maybe written 2, 3 or more times, and then reduce it. After all of that, refine it. Why? Because there is a possibility to use same words maybe twice in same sentence, or one in one sentence and in the next sentence it is the same one or different one. For example, Mircetic pointed out that something happened, and in the next sentence Mircetic pointed out that also something other happened. So it would be a good idea to, in the first sentence, write Mircetic, or any other author, of course. Mircetic pointed out that something happened, and in the next sentence, you use different words. So certain authors, for example, in the brackets, Mircetic and maybe other authors, underlined that something happened, or illuminated the topic of that something happens. So we can go, and after that, proofreading is also very important. All better journals have their own proofreading people that are helping with that part, but it is a good idea to give your paper, your master thesis or undergraduate or whatever paper you are writing, to someone that does not have any clue with the team that you are working on. Because when you are writing something, you write the same sentence for many times, and maybe you don't see some mistake, maybe you don't see something that someone that has no idea what are you doing and didn't see any of your paper, seeing it first time, they will see the mistake that you maybe made. We can go next, please. Regarding research, it is really important, and I couldn't stress enough about relevant studies. So relevant studies are studies that are published in respectable journals with high impact factor, journals that are papers that have many references and stuff like that. You can start by using different research tools such as ResearchGate, Google Scholar, or other platforms. I put some platforms that I'm using in the lower part of this slide. They're not first. Here is ORCID. It is not platform. You can read some articles, but not all of them. It is like like a scientific profile for authors. Second one is Serbian one, so you don't need to use that. But the third one is ResearchGate. It is really important. And the sixth one is Google Scholar. They're all free tools, so I recommend them using them to do research. Google Scholar is very interesting because you can do research, and when you are searching, you can narrow it down. For example, they give you the option to narrow it down to the last 5 years. Why is it important, and why am I saying all the time the last 5 years? Because if you consult the scientific papers from the last 5 years, it shows that you are reading something that is happening almost right now, and your research will be based on the newest studies. We can go next. What is important for our research regarding references? It is both quality and quantity. So our references have to has to have a certain quality. They have to be from respectable journals or respectable international conferences, or for example books and stuff like that. But also we have to have adequate amount of references. For example, if you are, in my opinion, of course, if you are writing scientific paper that you want to be published in international scientific conference, you should consider having 30 to 40, maybe even more references. You should only focus on relevant literature. I stressed, I think, maybe enough about that. The reference studies should be from respectable journals. The papers should be from journals that are categorized, and of course, every nation, there is a different categorization in every nation. For example, in Serbia, we have our own point system, and Indonesia has its own point system. It is called Sinta. So if you are starting research, please Google Sinta and see, and also ask your mentors and professors to share information more about that. Besides studies that are well known, so the terms that are used in scientific way are groundbreaking and state of the art, the paper should incorporate studies from the last 5 years. I also said before why, and there is, in the end of many studies, many references, many articles gain DOI number. DOI number is something that is showing that the paper is probably good, because when article has that DOI number, it is doi.org slash something something after that. Of course, different from every other paper. When article gets DOI number, it can mean that it is good article, because DOI numbers are paid. So any journal that wants to be relevant and good is trying to give DOI numbers to all articles that are published in that journal. But there are also certain journals that do not have DOI numbers, but are also very good. So it can be a predictor, but it also can mean that it is not important. So first of all, when you start researching, try to find authors that first did research in that area, and then later on you spread your research further, trying to find authors that reference them, try to find authors that wrote something about that in the last 5 years and stuff like that. Next slide, please. I put some relevant publishers here. So Of course, not all journals from these publishers are respectable. Some of them are trying to become, but if you see these logos, it can mean that the journal you are reading is good. We can go next. So what is the noting looks like? This is one of my working papers. You can see that it is page 39 of 107 pages in that one document, and it is only document for one subchapter of my second PhD. So please bring back the slide before. The next slide. Thank you. Why is that important? Because you do not have to try to remember everything you read, because there is no possibility to remember everything, especially when you are writing some important paper. Imagine me trying to remember 107 pages of any text just to, I don't know, try to remember and use it later. So you take everything that seems important and relevant from the articles that you are reading, and you put them in your working articles. We can go next, please. The good idea is to write in a template that journal proposed. I was researching, and both of journals that I put here are journals from your university. Your university is a publisher, and you can see that there are different templates. For example, the template on the right side, when I was doing research, I was really amazed to see that it is also a template that is used in Serbia. One of international scientific conferences is using exactly the same template. They probably saw your template, or you both saw it in the same place. So even if the publisher is the same, there is no guarantees that the template would be the same. So if we are writing, it is very different to write in a template with one segment, as the one in the right, as the Journal of Governance and Public Policy, and completely the other way around in the right journal when writing in two segments, because your images will look differently, graphical representation, even referencing styles are different in journals. For example, in Journal of Robotics and Control, referencing is in square brackets. So for me, for example, it is maybe the hardest way to write it that way. We can go next, please. And graphical representation on this slide is trying to present the structure of scientific article. What are we going to do? What is important, and how to start? We start by title, then go to abstract, keywords, introduction, methodological frameworks, results, discussion of results, conclusion, and literature or reference list. We can go next. We will go we will speak about every segment of the structure. We can go next, please. Forming the title. What are the key elements? It is listed on the slide. The ideal would be to have 10 to 15 words. Of course, in this regard and every other regard, you have to consider and follow journal guidelines. If guidelines for authors in certain journal says that have to have maximum maybe 6 or 7 words, then you consider having 6 or 7 words. Your title has to be clearly written, not so much. It is not important to be creative. It is nice to see something creative, but it is better to have certain amount of clarity. I gave here some examples about red and blue ocean strategy. For example, instead of sailing new waters, a business odyssey, it is really sounds interesting. You should consider blue ocean strategies in Indonesia fintech startups, for example, and stuff like that. We can go next. I gave several examples for writing abstracts. So, for example, from the University of Tennessee, Dr. Ismail said that firstly we need to decide what to write and then conduct initial research. All of my examples, I see the question. I will answer every question after the presentation, but of course I will share PDF or ask our colleagues from the university to share it gladly. So thank you for your question. The abstract should contain introduction, description of the case or problem, discussion, methods that we used, results, and conclusion. So at this time, we are talking only about the abstract. We can go next. And of course, also regarding abstract, you should consider journal guidelines. These are only some of the examples of respectable authors that tried to give their own opinion. Robert Pfaff from the University of Queensland, and for example, my other university where I am gaining my second PhD is using his abstract structure. He said that abstract consists of research question, motivation, ideas, data tools, findings, and scientific contribution. Next, please. From the Boston University, there is a saying that the abstract is a mini scientific paper. 1 or 2 sentences should be introduction. Methodology should be usually the longest section. So what is our methodology framework, what methods we used, etc. Results of our research and discussion, really short discussion. Next, please. Another abstract example is saying that we need to have 1 to 2 introductory sentences. After that, also sentences describing our research method. After that, also 1 to 2 sentences that describes results or findings, and after that, conclusions and recommendation. Some authors put also recommendations in the abstract, some are not putting, so it's up to you. We can go next. These are 2 examples from my published scientific papers that I wrote. The first one, the one on the left side, is a scientific paper that was published in Springer. It is really interesting article regarding smart tourism, regarding post-COVID. It is article from 3 years ago. That is why I was writing about post-COVID. The second article is from the year before, this year, so from 2024, unveiling the characteristic of EU charismatic leaders using PIPRED-CIS method. PIPRED-CIS is a multi-criteria decision-making method. It is maybe not my area of expertise, but it is something that I did in my first PhD. I didn't want to put also MCDM methods in my area of expertise, because I think that we should only say that there are maybe few areas of expertise. So regarding abstract, you can see the way, first of all, they are structured. It is different way, and you can see that the first one is not italic, the second one is italic, and also the keywords are differently put. You can also check my papers or papers of your colleagues, your professors, to see the way they did some abstracts and what they did. We can go next. When we are talking about keywords, it is also depending on the guidelines for authors. If the journal says that you can put 4 keywords, you put only 4 keywords, and that's it. Why they're essential? Because your paper would be easily discovered, indexed, and quoted in other scientific papers if you have better keywords. Keywords should not have. Oh, thank you. I see that the Indonesian embassy in Belgrade is also here. Thank you, my friends, and hello to the my friends from the Indonesian embassy in Belgrade, to the ambassador, to my friends Vino and others. Thank you once again for coming. So the keywords should be different from the title. If we have, for example, title that I did before and use certain words such as post-COVID there in the title of the paper, then in keywords there shouldn't be post-COVID in keywords. Also, if you are using aberration, you have to consider that same aberration could mean different things. For example, if we are in IT, OS could mean for us operating system, but for someone else could mean something else. One of the ways to outline keywords is also listed down, but it is the most important to use it, as journal said, according to guidelines for authors. Thank you, and we are going next. When you're writing introduction, it should be in the shape of a funnel. So you start from something general and then go to something specific, from something broad to narrow it down. For example, I love to start my scientific paper regarding contemporary business environment. What is contemporary business environment? What is the influence of globalization to organization? And maybe if I'm writing something about human resource management, then I'm saying what is something regarding contemporary business environment impacting, influencing organizations and human resource management inside of organizations. So narrowing it down like a funnel. We can go next. Methodological framework and results, they are really important for any paper, but because it depends on different aspects, what is the type of the paper? Is it only literature review, for example? Then you are using only certain studies that are published so far and doing comparison or something similar. if you're doing, for example, some questionnaire, doing some research that was already done, existing questionnaire, or you are building, creating questionnaire, it is a different methodology and it is all different. So the best part is for every author to consider and to research different methodology after deciding on all aspects. So when you decide what are you going to do, how are you going to do that, then you research methodological framework, and after that, depending of course on methodological framework, you will have different results, and you will discuss results differently. It is different for results to be discussed if you are doing literature review, and it is differently discussed if you are doing some questionnaire. We can go next. Regarding conclusion, it is the best to synthesize everything, connect findings to objectives or research questions or hypotheses, depending on what you did and how did you create your structure, your methodological framework. Propose applications, maybe policy actions, maybe future research. In my opinion, I always write in conclusion what are the limitations of my study, because when one of my mentors told me several years ago that I should put my limitations in my paper, I told them that my paper do not have any limitations, it is perfect. So later, when I was reading, I saw that every paper has some limitations, and the most important thing is to put and underline limitations. And regarding recommendations for future research, what are the recommendations for every paper? And this is maybe one of the best tricks I learned so far. You put that your recommendation for future research is to answer limitations of the paper, and then list the limitations that you wrote. So what should you avoid? You should avoid new data. Why? Because it is a conclusion. So you conclude everything that you did so far. There is no way to it is not a good idea to introduce new data. It is not it is not important. You shouldn't do that, because it is not a place for new data in conclusion. You can do that in the introduction, or maybe in the methodology, or in the literature part, or anywhere else, but in the conclusion, there is no place for new data. Referencing previous or new studies also, there is no need for that. So conclusion should be written without any references, and the explanation of methods, it is the part of methodology. So when you decide on using or trying different methodological approaches, you should put that in methodological segment of the paper. In the end, I learned from one of my professors that conclusions should have some positive tone in the end. I like to write them in positive tone whenever I can, and it should have certain personal touch of the author or of the authors, depending on who is writing. We can go next. So these are some of the examples for writing conclusion. In paragraph 1 is direct response to research question or hypothesis. In paragraph 2, implications and applications. In paragraph 3, limitations and future research or recommendations for future research. I know that every one of you can read, so I won't be reading all of these paragraphs. You can do it for yourself, and you will, of course, get PDF files, so you can read that and use it as example or something like that. We can go next. Regarding literature and reference list and literature list, I recommend to everyone to learn about one referencing style. Why is that important? Because every journal is using certain referencing styles and certain referencing style, and in my opinion, most journals are using APA style. APA style at the moment, APL 7th referencing style is something that can be learned, and I told all my students they have to, especially students in the higher studies, in the higher levels of education, that they have to learn APA 7 style, because it is one of the most important thing when you are writing. Of course, if journal, and as you can see, I'm always saying that if journal has any instructions or guidelines for authors regarding anything, even referencing style, you use that one. Even if it is not looking nicely, or you don't like it, it's okay. You use that, and later on you use a different journal to publish your scientific paper with referencing style that you like. So because if you don't use their referencing style, they will change it in the last segment of the review. We can go next. About using the AI in science, I was thinking a lot on this subject. So, in one hand, I was speaking to my students, and in the last 2 years, maybe not more, maybe only 2 years, I saw that many people, many students are using artificial intelligence to write certain seminars or something to write and to send me. Several times I also got emails from my students that are going like this. Of course, exponential mark, here is your text in formal and polite way, and 2 dots, and then some text below. So students are not only using artificial intelligence, they are copying exactly what ChatGPT or DeepSeek or some other artificial intelligence platform is telling them, not even reading what are they writing. So on the one hand, we have something new. Something new is artificial intelligence, and also something new is that almost everyone today is using artificial intelligence. But on the other hand, how are they using artificial intelligence? And should they use artificial intelligence? For example, World Economic Forum, in their publication Top 10 Emerging Technologies of 2024, so last year, the first one was AI for scientific discovery. And I call to everyone to find this publication and to read about using artificial intelligence in science. When I was speaking to my dean of my faculty about artificial intelligence, and he is one of the top authors in Serbia regarding artificial intelligence, I told him that I forbidded my students to use artificial intelligence, not forbid them, but make structure of my curriculum differently, not to have any seminars of any written paper or anything like that, to make using artificial intelligence as little as they could. And he told me one really important thing. And after that, I was thinking so much about it, and I feel that he is right. So he told me that everyone is using artificial intelligence, and that maybe for the future, the best would be to teach students how to use artificial intelligence. And after that, I was doing a lot of research regarding the using of artificial intelligence, and many journals and respectable publishers, for example, Frontiers, uses artificial intelligence also in the review process. I'm working as a reviewer for several journals, I think maybe 10 or more. And Frontiers are using, they have Aira, Artificial Intelligence Review Assistant. Aira is screening, assisting us as reviewers and screening the paper before we even start reading it. And they're providing you with the structure. What did Aira do regarding certain stuff? We can go next slide. So this is in my opinion. This is in my opinion, and in my opinion, in this moment, maybe certain segments of this change in the following years. First of all, I recommend not to use artificial intelligence for writing paper. And I think that this one is never going to change, because artificial intelligence is here to help us, not to do our job or to write instead of us. Because, as I said in the beginning of my lecture, the scientific writing is a process that you should enjoy. So if you are using artificial intelligence to write on your behalf, you're not enjoying it. You're only giving prompt and copying prompt. Writing also segments of the article is not recommended. Paraphrasing someone's work, also not recommended, but people are doing that. And I was reading some studies regarding this. Certain amount of authors said that for them it is okay to use artificial intelligence to paraphrase someone's work. So I would also like to hear your opinion about that. Finding references. Why is that not my recommendation? I mean, why is my recommendation not to use that? Because sometimes artificial intelligence is providing you with false references. For example, as my colleague said in the beginning, leadership is one of the areas of my expertise. My second PhD is completely regarding leadership. I'm setting new leadership model, and I'm writing that PhD for the last 5.5 years. So I read, I think, almost everything there is regarding leadership, and one of my favorite journals is the Leadership Quarterly. And I ask artificial intelligence to share certain paper with me regarding leadership and something that I did in research so far, just to see what the artificial intelligence would have to share with me. And I got the recommendations to read paper from John Antonakis. John Antonakis is editor-in-chief of Leadership Quarterly. It is also one of the top scholars in leadership worldwide. And I got the recommendations to read a paper from 2023. It was completely unknown to me. Again, as someone who read everything there is in Leadership Quarterly, every paper. It is really strange for me to have the opportunity to read the new paper. So especially from the 2023, because it is new paper. And one thing was really strange to me. As I said before, I recommend everyone to learn one or more referencing styles. Artificial intelligence, why is that important? Artificial intelligence shared this link with me, and it was in APA style, but the last segment where it should be the number of pages, it was the number of pages. It was from certain page to certain page, and it is fine. It is really fine. The APA style is like that. But the Leadership Quarterly, in their structure, there is no pages. They're using completely different style. They're using article number. So their own reference in APA style would be in the end only number, not from this page to this page, so only number. And artificial intelligence gave me from this number to this number. DOI number was also given. I clicked on DOI number to see that paper. It was not that paper. I asked artificial, I also Googled that paper that was recommended to me. There was no paper. I asked artificial intelligence, so, okay, you gave me something, share something that I think is not existing. And artificial intelligence told me that that paper is not existing, and it is only as a reference, only as imaginary scientific paper to share with me that it could be interesting if something like that exists. So after that, I was thinking again about the words from my dean, and I really think at the moment that it is really important to know how to use artificial intelligence. From that moment on, when I am trying to do some research regarding certain studies in different areas, and when I'm asking artificial intelligence to try to find some studies, I always write, find study that is published, for example, in the last 5 years, and is published in a respectable journal and can be found, so that there is no possibility to share with me non-existing scientific paper. So what can you do with artificial intelligence? I'm using it for brainstorming, but it is also very important to have in mind that artificial intelligence is like having a good person on the other side that has many knowledge regarding something, but it is not always all true. So when you are doing brainstorming, when you are researching, when you are trying to find some innovative approaches, the last word is yours, because artificial intelligence can share something with you. It can be really amazing, but also it can be something that is not existing or that is completely untrue. It is maybe a good idea to research or do brainstorming regarding paper structure, because, for example, if you don't have any clue how to structure some paper, you can start by asking artificial intelligence to help you there. Also, if your mentor, this is my opinion, this is regarding this lecture, in my experience, But if your mentor or older colleagues say that it is fine to use artificial intelligence, especially because it is a topic that everything is unclear at the moment. If your mentor says it's okay to use it, then use it. It's okay. We can go next. We can go next slide, please. Thank you. And we are finishing this lecture in the next several minutes. There are different categorizations of scientific articles, and it depends on two things. First of all, is where our study is going to be published, and the second is when. The first one, where it could be published in national or international scientific conference. It can be published in scientific journal. For example, there are different scientific journals. They can be indexed in Scopus. They can be indexed in Cinta. Cinta has 6 different categorization levels. It can also have journals that are canceled or not non-accredited. Non-accredited is when journal is sent their accreditation proposal, but it is not still accepted. Also, my recommendation is to try to write, of course, not in the beginning, but maybe in the end of second, maybe even first year of research. Try to write paper that is listed for a journal that is listed on the C list, that are the most important and the most reputable journals in the world. So there are also other options for publications. And when I say when, it means that scientific conference can be national conference in 1 year, and the next year can be international. So you have to consider also that, and same journals can be differently categorized in different years. For example, in 1 year, certain journal can be Cinta 3, but next year can be Cinta 2, which is better and bring more points. Next slide, please. After the submission, these are some insider information. These are certain aspects that are certain journals checking after you submit your article. First of all, language quality. I'm assuming and speaking like everything is in English, but it can also be for some journal in Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesia, and language quality is important either way. So controversial topics, is there something controversial in your paper? Are there some commercial conflicts? Is data that you use available? Human images, for example, this publisher considers using human images require consent. Ethical guidelines, so do you have ethical approval of your ethical committee or something like that if you are using questionnaire or you are using some kind of research on humans or animals or similar. Repeat submission, was the same article or already submitted somewhere? For example, in scientific ethics, you shouldn't submit one article to more than one place at a time. Scope suitability, is it suitable to be published in certain journal? We can go next. So regarding opportunities for publishing, we have 2 opportunities for our participants. I expected, to be honest, less participants than there is right now. At the moment, there is 151 participants in this lecture. It is quite a lot. but nevertheless, it would be everything that I wrote here. So, first of all, my faculty is organizing international scientific and professional conference. It is titled Innovation as an Initiator of the Development, MEFCON 25. The APC article processing charge is 50 euros, but for all participants of this lecture, it will be free. So if all 151 participants want to write article, I will make sure to be free for every one of you. The other opportunity is Journal of Process Management and New Technologies. There are 4 issues per year. It is APC free, and the interesting part is that it is open. It is indexed in Scopus, so you can check what is Cinta regarding our journal. So be free to ask people from your own university, or to ask me directly if you want to participate in any of these 2 opportunities for publishing. Next, please. And instead of conclusion, there are certain recommendations. First of all, when you are writing, you make an agenda, use SMART goals. I believe that most of you, if not everyone, knows about SMART goals. Work every day. Try to work every day, because it is really important to work every day, to write every day. If you don't have inspiration to write every day, then do something else for that paper. Read, do graphical segments, do anything to keep you tied to these papers. Cut all inhibitors as much as you can. Phones, games, television, everything that is taking your time. Find your method of working. For example, how do you feel good writing? Do you like to sit and write? Do you like to, for example, lie down and write? And when do you like to do it? Is it better for you to do it in the morning, during the day, during the night, whenever you feel the most comfortable, you do it like that? Because we are all different. I have my own writing style, writing methods, and my methods are not suitable for everyone, of course. Ask for feedback. I already told you about the possibility to grow from feedback. Try to write certain articles to submit it to journals and receive feedback, receive review information. Try to consider all of that. Try to review your paper regarding feedback you receive. And after that, I didn't put it here, but it is also my recommendation. I think that it is really important. When some time pass, try to be a reviewer for certain journals, because it is the also way to learn. You learn different things, and you see how other reviewers do their own research. Before I started working as a reviewer, I finished certain free academies from respectable publishers. It helped me a lot to understand the process of reviewing. I see that my camera is not okay. So can you hear me? I think so. Maybe
Yes.
maybe it is time to finish our lecture. I'm joking, of course. It helped me a lot to understand the process of everything, the process of writing, the process of reviewing, and build scientific network. It is really important to build scientific network. It is really important to build scientific network and to try to have different people from different states, from different universities to write with them. Just one moment, please. We can go on the next slide. And it is the last slide. Hopefully not the most interesting slide for our participants. I would like to thank all of you once again for participating, for taking time. I know that it is night in Indonesia. In Serbia it is not, but thank you for accepting my proposal to have this time, to choose this time to also include people from Serbia. So thank you once again, and I really hope that it was interesting for you and that you learned something new.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for the material. So, everyone, so now we are entering for questions and answer sessions. But before we proceed to question and answer sessions, we have interesting materials. First of all, it's about we learn for the structures of research papers. And I believe maybe for undergraduate students, it is very necessary for undergraduate students because, well, maybe for the first part in the structure of research paper, we have backgrounds, yeah, or introductions. And the focus of introduction, we have to find the idea or maybe what Professor Dr. Fogg say is about the research gap. Yeah, and I think it is very hard to brainstorm our thought to find the idea of research gap. Yeah. And also, the second last, that very interesting topic in this material is that using AI in academic writing, because now I think especially for students from Indonesia, yeah, because our native language is Indonesia, and I think it is very hard for us to on how to structure the what's that word by word, and then how to make a good sentence in English. Yeah, so I think it is very interesting to be discussed after this whether it is very appropriate to using AI, for example, like Grammarly or maybe any AI in order to create a good structure in English. Yeah, because I think, sir, we as a student from Indonesia, maybe it is very hard for us in order to maybe making a good English sentence. Yeah. Okay, now we would like to welcome for any question from audience. So you are pleased to deliver your question. You may open your camera, turn on your microphone, or maybe you can actually deliver your questions through chat box. Okay, so is there any question from the audience? Yeah, we have a lot of chats, sir, in chat box, giving greetings for you. Yeah, we have one questions from Angelina Basri. Yeah, so Angelina is currently studying master in Carleton University and then she has questions about her experience, yeah, what makes a student's paper stand out and be considered excellence by Scopus Index Journal. Maybe Angelina has final projects in her study.
Thank you for reading the question, dear Angelina. In Serbian it would be Angelina, but also it could be Angelina. So we have similar names also here in Serbia. Thank you for your question. In my opinion, in my expertise, in my experience so far, you should consider everything that we did and that we talked about here. So regarding the material that you use, regarding the references, regarding the studies, you have to use relevant studies. You have to use right amount of different studies, right amount of quality studies, and I didn't put it in my lecture, but it is always important to reference journal that you are writing for. No one ever tells you that you reference their own journal, but when the editor or when the reviewer is reading the paper, and when the first, second, or third reference is from that journal, for me, because I'm working also for our journal that is published by our faculty, when I see that someone referencing our journal, I'm really excited, and I was like, yeah, this is really good. So it is also not it is not meaning that your paper will be published for sure, but there are also tips and tricks to do that. And also, in my opinion, the most important thing, firstly, is that editor is say that your proposed paper is in scope of the journal, and the other thing is what reviewers say. So best of luck in your endeavors, and I think that I would like to give you my luck, and I hope that reviewers will be happy sharks, not the angry one. So
Okay.
Question.
Yeah, sir.
Would you like to read question, or because you're the moderator? So
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we have the other participants. That is Loka Matix from Trisakti. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Before I continue speaking in English, I would just like to greet everyone in Indonesian, if you allow me, if Book allows me.
Yes, of course.
Yes, selamat malam semuanya. Saya perkenalkan, saya Luka dari Serbia, tapi kebetulan tinggal di Jakarta. Saya di Trisakti, Institut Pariwisata Trisakti, Jakarta, kuliah S2. Pariwisata. So I basically said that I'm studying a master program in Trisakti Institute of Tourism in Jakarta, focusing on tourism. And I would just like to say that Vuk, as my friend and also someone who is president of the Association of Nusantara, with that I'm also a proud member, I would like to say that this presentation was very good, and especially for me, who is in the first semester of master studies. And I believe that his presentation can also enlighten not only me, but all of the students from your university in Yogyakarta, Muhammadiyah. Yeah. I have to say that I'm very proud and very honored that I had the chance to be on this Zoom meeting, even though it's, as you have said, late here. It's almost 9 p.m. here. Yeah, very, very good. And that's all. I just wanted to greet my friend as well and all of you. Terima kasih. Thank you. Hvala, Vuče.
Okay, thank you very much, Luka. Ya, terima kasih banyak.
Dengan senang hati.
Yeah, maybe we have the other participants, Mariam Israr.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible to all?
Sorry, I cannot hear your
Am I
voice
audible?
clearly. Yeah.
Am I audible? Oh, I am. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and hello to everyone. So, I am Mariam Israr. I am a second year dental student, doing my bachelor's from Pakistan. So, I am Pakistani by heart and by blood and everything. So, I'm a Karachiite, someone who belongs to Karachi, Pakistan. So, just randomly I came across this through Instagram and an ad. I came across this about this workshop and everything. And scientific writing is something that interests me. So I heard about it, I came through here, and I must say it was very insightful, very fruitful. And these 2 hours, I just gave my exam and I have another exam tomorrow. So these 2 hours that I spent over here were definitely fruitful. So, Mr. Vok, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So, how do you pronounce it, by the way? Like, can you tell me how do you pronounce your name?
It is Vuk. You said it right. It is Vuk. My last name is a bit tricky. It is Mircetic. Mircetic. But Vuk is
Mircetic.
okay. Yes, and Vuk in
Vuk.
Serbian means wolf.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So, Vuk is best. So, I had like a couple of questions from you, Mr. Vok. That first off, what brought your interest into research and scientific writing? Most of my time in. And the second question is, as a bachelor student and an undergrad student, how can I polish myself more in the research field, and that would like promise me a better outstanding, performance as compared to other colleagues and everyone.
Can I please ask you to repeat the first question because the connection was very slow.
Yeah, sure, I can. So my first question is that how did you initially start with your research journey? What thing brought you in? What made you think, okay, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life and something that I want to be a bigger part of? So like how did you begin with this?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. I really wasn't expecting question like this, and it is really for me it is really important story, my personal story. It started in 2017. I was starting to work as a teaching associate in the faculty, and I came to the gathering, to the meeting of teachers, and there was a new teacher in our faculty, and I was then teaching associate for human resource management at masters, at bachelor, but also at masters levels. And we the faculty changed teacher for the master level. We got some older woman, older professor. She was for me, I was a bit scared because she changed everything. She changed curriculum. She was full professor. She was, I don't know, she changed everything. And the new semester is starting in 2 weeks, and I have to read new books, prepare new materials, and everything else for masters. And at that time, as I told you, I was maybe not scared, but I didn't know what to expect. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me scientifically, because that woman, that professor, at this moment my friend, she became later on my mentor also. We became really good friends. From my 80 papers, I think that maybe more than half of papers I wrote with her and did research. And the first paper was with her. It was December of 2017. And she told me, okay, Vuk, so you want to be a scientist? Have you ever written something? And I told her, no, I haven't ever. I tried to do it once in 20, I think 14 or 15, but I didn't manage to do it because I was in certain. I was doing certain function for the Republic of Serbia, so I didn't have enough time. And she told me, yeah, but in whole life you won't have enough time anytime. So you have to write one scientific paper. I will help you. And we did. And my first scientific paper is regarding motivation. in human resource management, and for me it was really challenging. It is not best quality of the paper for sure, but when I did that, when I wrote it, when I defended it in my faculty, it was something really amazing. So my first scientific paper was published in 2017 with Professor Dr. Vukotic, and later on, in that conference, I became chair for the past 2 years. I'm the chair of that conference. So it is for me really emotional story and something that I'm really proud. And regarding your second question, uh, first of all, you try to read as much as you can, and read something that is from the journals that are respectable, that from the authors that are respectable. Try to find the authors that are quoted as much as you can. For example, what is the your second year so far? Yes.
Yes, I'm a second year.
Do you know what will be your thesis of the final paper? Do you have certain ideas so far or not?
About the clinical part, we have just started with it. So we have the just surface level information, not
Mhm.
in depth knowledge yet.
Okay, so for now, I recommend you to focus on the general part. So read as much as you can to expand your general knowledge, and try to open one document in Word or other program, and to outline what you read and you find interesting. As I told before, for example, in Serbia, many people are saying, "New year, new me." So when New Year starts, it will be new me and stuff like that. But on the 1st of January, so after New Year's in Serbia, I opened new document. I named it doctoral dissertation, and I started writing it. So 1st of January 2020, I started writing it is my second PhD. I started writing my second PhD then, and from 5.5 years now, I have many materials I read. I don't know how many scientific papers, books, and everything else. And many of the things you read, you will not use, but you will better understand certain aspects of the theme you want to do later on. So you have 2 years so far. I believe that it is 1 or 2 years for you so far. It is quite enough time to read as much as you can and to do the best paper you can.
Thank you so much, Mr. Book. If everyone doesn't mind, can I ask another question?
I
Do
don't
we
mind.
have time? Mr. Khalifa Phil Erdi, I hope I am saying your name right.
Yes, it's right. Yeah.
I did. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So can I ask another question?
Yes,
Moderator
please,
for today.
Mariam. One
Oh,
questions.
thank you so much. So another question is about the publication. Oh, when you're done with the scientific paper and everything, so should a student send their paper to multiple journals at one time, or should we wait for response for one of the journals? And should we pick a lower impact journal because you just started your research and it's your first paper or something? Or for the first time, you should just go with the highest one or something like that. What would you
It
say about that?
It is a great question, and thank you for that. First of all, you shouldn't send your paper to multiple journals, only one. And if they say that it is not quite good and they decline it, then you can send it somewhere else. But if the article is good, well written, after review process, I believe it is going to be published. in my opinion, if you are starting your scientific career, the best thing would be to start writing for scientific conferences, because it is easier to write for scientific conferences and for journals with lower impact. So for now, it is good to write that. After some time, I recommend you to try to publish in a higher impact journal, and I'm preparing you right now. It will probably be declined, but the information you will receive from the editor or from reviewers will be something that will help you grow. So I also recommend to try not to be published, but to be declined and to grow from it, because for maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now, when you send your paper to the journal that is listed on, for example, C-list or Scopus indexed or something like that, you will enjoy that process and you will know as much as you can.
Okay, Mariam. I think it is enough, yeah, for your last questions. Thank you very much for your questions, Mariam. And thank you very much, Mr. Vok, for the answer. So for the other participant, is there any questions that maybe can be you have some any problem in your scientific writing process or something else? But we have one participant, Mr. Vok, in chat box. That is from Anapa Mulyana. So I think Anapa Mulyana, his background is not from academic. He's a professional. He's as an air traffic controller, but he interested in writing papers. So maybe your response, Mr.
Yeah, thank you for that. I read question, and it is really important to have people that are professionals and also working in science. As I said in the beginning, I thank Dr. Vesna Tornyansky. She recommended me for cooperation with your university, and she is also professional. She is working at the bank, and she's really amazing because she is trying to figure out something new, to try to share her knowledge regarding professional works and put it inside of a scientific framework. So in my opinion, you being professional is only positive thing, and thing that will help you bring some new ideas and illuminate certain research gaps from other sides. So it is really a good thing, and my recommendation is to see again this lecture or lecture notes after that and use them to structure your paper.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Fogg, for the answer. So I believe that this very writing paper is not only for academic person who has a background in academic, but I think it can be done for anyone. Yeah. Okay. Is there any question from the participants? We're still waiting for the other questions. Please, for those who have any questions, you may raise your hand, or maybe you can turn on your microphone, or maybe you can deliver your questions in chat box. Yeah, I think
Boleh
there
izin
is.
Bapak,
Okay. Who was that?
saya Vino Pak dari KBRI Beograd.
Oh yeah, so please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity given, Mr. Khalifah and Professor Vuk. From time to time of meeting you, I tend to address you just as Vuk and forgot the professor part because you're still very young and yet you are completing your second PhD. So, Gospodin Vuk Mircetic, Gospodin itu Bapak kalau bahasa Indonesianya, is not only a professor, he is also a terrific academic and also a stupefying scholar. But Vuk is also a very close friend to Indonesia. Like our friend Luca earlier said, that Vuk is the president of Indonesia-Serbia Friendship Association Nusantara. He has been a very humble yet very resourceful facilitator for the promotion of Indonesia and Serbia. And today, I'm thankful to come across this session. I actually learned about a very relevant topic on scientific writing for everyone, including related to the daily function at the Indonesian Embassy here in Belgrade, particularly in regarding to reporting. Jadi, Profesiat juga untuk Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta yang telah menyelenggarakan guest lecture seperti ini. Kami berharap ke depannya nanti akan semakin banyak kesempatan untuk guest lecture semacam ini, bisa melibatkan berbagai kalangan akademik, baik dari Serbia maupun dari Indonesia. Jadi, so in this part, I'm not gonna say too much. I'm on a humble mode. I'm learning. I'm on a student mode and taking notes out of your lectures book. Thank you and congratulations again. Terima kasih Pak Khalifah. Salam hormat untuk teman-teman di Yogyakarta.
Terima kasih banyak Bapak. Salam kembali
Thank you,
Bapak.
Erwin. Thank you.
Okay, so back again for any participants, maybe for any questions, or maybe Mr. Vuk, maybe if our participant have any further questions, so is there any contact from you? So maybe our participant can contact you for any further questions.
Sorry for switching my camera off. All my batteries died.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be shorter, but I believe that all questions and remarks are because we did a good job today. So my batteries now are charging.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
everything
It's okay,
is fine.
sir. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I would like again to thank all the participants. I would like to thank you as amazing host on behalf of your university. It was really a pleasure for me to work with you and along your side. I hope that us two together shared something that is interesting to our audience, and I see that there is still over 150 participants. So I believe that we did a good job. Once again, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank my friends from the Embassy of Indonesia in Belgrade. I would like to thank Dr. Vesna Tornjanski. I would like to thank Dr. Penny Nugraheni. I would like to thank members of Association of Serbian Indonesian Friendship Nusantara, members of Club 10, your university, your staff, everyone that participated today. And I hope that we will do something like this again. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir, for your very interesting materials. And also, we would like to say thank you for your time enjoying these general lectures and webinar. So I hope that material for these sessions can maybe give benefit for our students, especially for all participants in this guest lecture, especially for undergraduate students. And I hope that, or maybe we have certain of master students or maybe is there any PhD students in this webinar? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Vlog, for your interesting presentations, for your materials. And I think this is the end sessions for this general lectures webinar. So I would like to say thank you for all the participants that has joined in this webinar. And before we end our sessions, maybe Ms. Aziza, we have documentation sessions. So please, for all participants, to turn on your cam and prepare yourself because we will have for documentation sessions.
And what I'm sorry, while we wait for everyone to turn their cameras on, I am so sorry I forgot to thank also students of Indonesia in Belgrade, in Serbia, because their association also helped us very much, and I see that their members are also here present. And when I say Nusantara, I also think of them, but they are also association of their own, and I thank them also, as I also thank everyone else for being here.
Okay, so kindly reminder for the participants, please turn on your camera because we will have for documentation sessions. The staff from department will guide me to screenshot to capture the screen. So, okay, on 3, please be ready. Maybe start from slide number 1. Yeah. Okay, on 3, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Now, this is the regularities Indonesian habit to take pictures. Book.
Yes.
Always.
Okay, next.
Always.
Yes,
Yeah.
always
We have
in
to have
any occasion.
pictures for everything.
Selalu kayak gini.
Okay, next slide. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next slide. We still have the other slide. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we still have 3 left side slide on.
Lots of slides. Everybody's many people here.
Okay, maybe slides for number 4, 5, and 6. The camera is off, so we only have 3 slides instead. Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you very much everyone for the documentation sessions, and thank you very much for Mr. Rupert for your interesting materials. And now I back to Ms. Aziza.
All right. Thank you very much for Professor Fruit Mircetic, Ph.D., and for the insightful and also inspiring lecture. And thank you as well to Mr. Khalifah at the SAMACC, who has moderated the session so clearly and so fully. And finally, we come to the last agenda, which is closing. As the master of ceremony, I sincerely apologize if there were any mistake or shortcoming during today's event. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. We hope this seminar enriches your understanding and inspire you to uphold integrity and also accountability in your future career. See you at the next guest lecture series. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu.
Ya.
Selamat
Terima kasih.
istirahat Luka.
Terima kasih
Thank you
Bapak.
and book. See you soon.